The Manhattan District Attorney's Office is firing back at Donald Trump's request from yesterday, where Donald Trump and his lawyers requested, in connection with the criminal case where Donald Trump was convicted on 34 separate felony counts, that the gag order be lifted and Donald Trump be permitted to attack the judge's daughter and the prosecution teams, family members, and the jury and witnesses. The prosecutors, in their letter that was sent this morning to Justice Merchan, says we should not have any of the gag order restrictions imposed on Donald Trump lifted until at least after sentencing takes place, which is scheduled for July 11th. We can have a normal briefing schedule where Donald Trump's lawyers can submit their briefs to Your Honor about why they say the gag order should be lifted. We'll respond on June 27th, and you can decide thereafter. But we should not in any way precipitously remove these gag order restrictions, because there is still an urgent need to protect the integrity of these proceedings. And the district attorney's office also intimates that in their briefing, they are going to be pointing out to Justice Merchan, who is presiding over this action, a whole host of Donald Trump's other conduct that is why the gag order should remain in effect. And also, I'm sure at sentencing, the district attorney's office is going to bring up all of Donald Trump's behavior from even before the indictment was brought, where Donald Trump was posting photos of himself with the baseball bat as though he was going to bludgeon the district attorney Alvin Bragg in the face. Donald Trump's consistent attacks on the jury, on the judicial system, on witnesses, calling a witness horseface. Donald Trump's behavior since the jury verdict has been atrocious as well, with multiple gag order violations. Here's the letter that was submitted by the district attorney's office. Dear Justice Merchan, pursuant to the court's March 8th, 2024 order on the filing of future motions, the people respectfully submit this response to defendant's June 3rd, 2024 request to terminate the court's March 26th and April 1st orders restricting defendant's extrajudicial statements. The people oppose any immediate termination of the orders and agree with defendant's proposal for further briefing. We request that the court adopt the same briefing schedule that the court set for all other post-trial motions, with defendant's motions due on June 13th and the people's response due by June 27th. Defendant's letter asserts that the stated basis for the court's orders, the gag order, no longer exist, quote, because the trial has concluded, end quote. The court's orders, however, were based not only on the need to avoid threats to the fairness of the trial itself, but also on the court's broader obligation to prevent actual harm to the integrity of the proceedings, to protect the orderly administration of this court, and to avoid risks to the administration of justice. As the people will explain more fully in our written opposition to defendant's forthcoming motion, these interests have not abated, and the court has an obligation to protect the integrity of these proceedings and the fair administration of justice, at least through the sentencing hearing and the resolution of any post-trial motions. The people's opposition will address whether, if at all, it would be appropriate to tailor aspects of the court's order given the conclusion of the trial. So the prosecution holds open some slight possibilities and exceptions where Donald Trump would not be held to some restrictions, potentially. But what the people say is, do not remove the restrictions of the prosecution says, do not remove the restrictions of the gag order right now. The concerns that were at issue have not abated, meaning Donald Trump's continuing to engage in behavior that threatens the judicial system, which the prosecution, the district attorney's office says they're going to point out in their briefing. And let's just have a normal briefing schedule. Most clothes are uncomfortable or too tight or never actually the size you really are, not to mention the annoyance of trying to put a good outfit together. Everyone wants to dress their best and look good at all times because, frankly, it's a confidence booster. So here's the deal. Men's closets were due for a radical reinvention, and Rhone stepped up to the challenge. Rhone's commuter collection is the most comfortable, breathable, and flexible set of products known to man, and here's why. Rhone helps you get ready for any occasion with the commuter collection, which offers the world's most comfortable pants, dress shirts, quarter zips, and polos. You never have to worry about what to wear when you have the Rhone commuter collection. Rhone's comfortable four-way stretch fabric provides breathability and flexibility that leaves you free to enjoy what life throws your way, from your commute to work to your 18 holes of golf. It's time to feel confident again without the hassle. With Rhone's wrinkle release technology, wrinkles disappear as you stretch and wear the products. It's that easy. And with Gold Fusion anti-odor technology, you'll be smelling fresh and clean all day long. And on top of that, Rhone is 100% machine washable, so you can ditch the dry cleaner altogether. I absolutely love Rhone. It's comfortable yet professional and has truly become my favorite clothing. We're on the move a lot, whether it's jumping from meeting to meeting or catching a flight or doing a hot take, whatever. Rhone commuter collection has never let me down. The versatility and overall comfort of the collection is undefeated. Even after I wear it all day, I still feel super fresh because of that Gold Fusion anti-odor technology. The commuter collection can get you through any workday and straight into whatever comes next. Head to Rhone.com/Meidas and use that promo code Meidas to save 20% off your entire order. That's 20% off your entire order when you head to RHONE.com/MEIDAS and use that code Meidas. It's time to find your corner office comfort. So what Donald Trump's lawyers wrote yesterday in a June 4th, 2024 docketed entry was they said, "Dear Justice Merchan, we respectfully submit this pre-motion letter requesting that Your Honor terminate the gag order restricting Trump's extrajudicial statements for the reasons set forth below because the trial has concluded the stated basis for the gag order no longer exists," Trump's lawyers argue. Unless the court grants the requested relief based on this letter and any response from the government, we further request an opportunity to submit briefing on the issue. And then there's a footnote that you see that says the defense does not concede that there was ever a valid basis for the gag order and reserves the right to challenge the irreparable First Amendment harms caused by the order. And then in the next paragraph, they say the proffered justification for the gag order, which we disagree with, related to the trial. And then it goes on to say in the next paragraph, now that the trial is concluded, the concerns articulated by the government and the court do not justify continued restrictions on the First Amendment rights of President Trump. And then here's the thing, though. He's not the president, number one. And number two, these aren't First Amendment restrictions. Donald Trump is a convicted felon. Okay, and Donald Trump was a criminal defendant before he was a convicted felon. The First Amendment does not allow criminal defendants or convicted felons to threaten and harass their victims and witnesses. That's not what the First Amendment allows. Donald Trump had and has broad latitude to talk about his political opponents. He has broad latitude to even talk about the district attorney, Alvin Bragg, to talk about the judge. Just in our judicial system where law and order matters, you don't attack the jury, you don't attack the judge's family members, you don't attack other members of the prosecution team and their family members, you don't attack the witnesses. That's pretty basic to our system, and that's been upheld over and over again, that these narrowly tailored gag orders for those purposes have always been valid and have a legal basis, especially when we're talking about criminal proceedings with convicted felons. Now, Donald Trump's lawyers offered 4 reasons why they claim the gag order should be lifted now that the trial is done. They said President Biden's May 28th campaign event outside the courthouse during the defense summation. I think he's talking about when Robert De Niro spoke, to President Biden's public comments regarding the jury verdict on May 31. Look, Donald Trump's free to go after President Biden. He does that all the time. All President Biden said was law and order matters, and we need to respect our jury system. And Donald Trump got his day in court before a fair and impartial jury that Donald Trump's lawyers had the opportunity to participate in selecting. A jury rendered its verdict. In the United States of America, we have a very long-held principle that you respect jury verdicts. That's what President Biden said. If Donald Trump wants to say that's not the case or go after Biden, he's free to do that. You just don't attack the jury. Just don't attack the witnesses. Just don't attack the judge. 3, Donald Trump argues that there are continued attacks against Trump by government witnesses Michael Cohen and Stormy Daniels. Well, they're not the criminal defendant in this case. They're subpoenaed witnesses in this case. You are in different positions. And 4, the presidential debate scheduled for June 27th, 2024. As I've been saying all along, I think what Trump's lawyer's letter was really about, requesting the removal of the gag order, is Trump does not want to participate in that June 27th, 2024 debate. He's going to come with any excuse why he shouldn't have to debate. He's going to say the gag order prevents him from debating. That's just part of Donald Trump's kind of cowardly gimmicks that he runs over and over again. I was going to testify, but then this happened. I was going to debate, but then this happened. I think we all know that Trump is too cowardly to show up at the debate, and I think he's going to use the existence of the gag order, or even portions of the gag order, as a reason not to debate. But look, I'm glad the prosecution is pushing back against Donald Trump, the convicted felon's attempts to try to wiggle out of the gag order, and they're standing firm. Nope, gag order should still apply. Anyway, tell me what you think. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 3 million subscribers. Thanks to your support. Thanks for watching.
Enough! Send it to the big house, not the White House. Get the new exclusive tees, mugs, and stickers right now at store.MeidasTouch.com. That's store.MeidasTouch.com.